Oh, Ruth. Now, Eileen, everything's going to be all right. It's awful. Oh, never mind, Eileen. Try and sleep. I can't sleep. Try, darling. Make your mind up. I did, but I keep thinking of oh, Eileen, me too. Why, oh, why, oh, why, oh, why did I ever leave Ohio? Why did I wander to find what lies yonder when life was so cozy at home? Wandering while I wandered, why did I fly? Why did I roam? Oh, why, did I leave Ohio? Maybe I'd better go H-I-O. Maybe I'd better go home. Thank heaven we're free. Why, oh, why, oh, why did we ever leave Ohio? Wandering while we wandered, why did we fly? Why did we roam? Oh, why did we leave Ohio? Maybe we'd better go home, H-I-O. Maybe we'd better go
This is Michelle, and you may be unaware of my rabbit training prowess. Here I have given her the hand signal to run into the bushes and nibble on a plant and run really fast. Oh, that's a chicken. I didn't train the chicken. Run under the house. Yep, I told her to do that. And you see, now I will instruct her to, oh, more chickens. Ah, yes. She followed my command to hide under the house. And there she is. This concludes my rabbit training video.
Hi everyone, I'm Amy Brockman.
And I'm Laura East.
We're going to sing a duet today, a song we both love, that to us is about finding God wherever you are. It's called My Church by Maren Morris. I an amen? Feels like the Holy Ghost running through you. When I play the Highway FM, I find my soul revival, singing every single verse. Yeah, I guess that's my church. When Hank brings the sermon and Cash leads the choir, it gets my cold, cold heart burning, hotter than a ring of fire. When this wonderful world gets heavy and I need to find my escape, I just keep the wheels rolling, radio scrolling till my sins wash away. Can I get a hallelujah? Can I get an amen? Feels like the Holy Ghost running through you. When I play the Highway FM, I find my soul revival, singing every single verse. Yeah, yes, that's my church. Can I get a hallelujah? Can I get an amen? Feels like the Holy Ghost running through you. When I play the Highway FM, I find my soul revival, singing every single verse. Yeah, I guess that's my church. Hey, can I get a hallelujah? Can I get an amen? Feels like the Holy Ghost running through you. When I play the Highway FM, I find my soul revival, singing every single verse. Yeah, I guess that's my church. Yeah, I guess that's my church. Yeah, I guess that's my church.
Good job, Amy.
That was it! Yay!
I dreamed a dream in time gone by, when hope was high and life worth living. I dreamed that
Hi, I'm Sandra Beckwith, and I'd like to share a poem by Rumi. I used to use this when I was teaching kids Master Keys for Kids, my process on manners and ethics for kids, and we would end each class quoting this poem by saying, "Clap hands, for today is all happiness," and we would say it 3 times. So I'd like to share it with you during a challenging time when it's nice to be reminded that we are every day surrounded by extraordinary gifts and tremendous beauty. Come, for today is for us a day of festival. Henceforward joy and pleasure are on the increase. Clap hands, for today is all happiness. From the beginning it was a manifestly fine day. Who is there in the world like our friend? Who has seen such a festival in 100 cycles? Earth and heaven are filled with sugar, and in every direction sugarcane has sprouted. The roar of that pearl scattering sea has arrived, and the world is full of waves, and the sea is invisible. Mohammed has arrived from the ascension. Jesus has arrived from the 4th heaven. Every coin which is not of this place is counterfeit. Every wine which is not of the cup of the soul is impure. Now I have fallen asleep and stretched out my feet, since I have realized that good fortune has drawn me on. So join me. Clap hands, for today is all happiness. Clap hands, for today is all happiness. Clap hands, for today is all happiness.
I got me flowers to strew thy way. I got me boughs of many a tree, but thou wast stopped by break of day, and brought'st thy sweets along with thee. The sun arising in the east, though he give light and the east perfume, if they should offer to contest with thy arising, they presume. Can there be any day but this, though many suns to shine endeavor? We count 300, but we miss. There is but one, and that one ever.
won't keep us from the things we plan unless we're clinging to the things we prize. And do you feel scared?
Finally, I have my agua,
And
I'm sitting down next to a branch.
she has her famous seat, which is like completely snowed in. Boing, boing.
It's all snowed in,
Yeah, it's pretty,
so this is going to be my only help.
don't break it.
You'd be nice to me when I want to, like, get up.
She's cozy.
Yeah, so can you see my parka?
Here it is.
Yeah, I took it off to cool down. It's pretty warm in the sun, but in the shade, it's cool. And by the time we're out of here, we will definitely need the parkas. Right now, it's really nice. Blue sky, brand new fresh snow, incredible conditions. Some fog coming in on the other side, clear view of the mountains in here. And we saw about 10 minutes ago, some other folks had taken the trail from down below, and there is a way to connect to this trail, which they did, and they've gone a little bit further. And they arrived at the same time we did, but they left about, 20 minutes before, so looks like we're moving faster than we thought. Or the lower trail's longer. I don't know. This is our trail. Yay.
And this is where we're stopping.
Yeah, this is where we're stopping. I hear their voices, by the way. They're up above somewhere.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I can hear them.
Oh.
So I have my pretty park on.
Yes.
This one's from
Polo.
I have my COVID-19 scarf on.
Get through it all and conquer the mountain of adversity. Jesus will lift you up on eagle's wings to carry you through the storm. You will get through it all and conquer the mountain of adversity. Jesus will lift you up and you will fly and soar and soar above the clouds in the sky and soar above the sorrow and strife. Jesus will lift you up and you will fly. Hallelujah, Jesus. Hallelujah, Jesus. We thank you, Jesus, for bringing us through it all. To be seated with you in the heavenly realms, to fly with you through the clouds in the sky. Jesus, lift us up above the sorrow and strife, so we can fly with you through this life, so we can fly with you. To be seated with you in the heavenly realms, to and conquer the mountain of adversity. Jesus will lift us up on eagle's wings and carry us through the sorrow and strife, and carry us through the storms and the night, and we will get through it all.
This is a nonsense poem from Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll, the familiar Walrus and the Carpenter. The sun was shining on the sea, shining with all his might. He did his very best to make the billows smooth and bright. And this was odd because it was the middle of the night. The moon was shining sulkily because she thought the sun had no business to be there after the day was done. It's very rude of him, she said, to come and spoil the fun. The sea was wet as wet could be, the sands as dry. You could not see a cloud because no cloud was in the sky. No birds were flying overhead, there were no birds to fly. The Walrus and the Carpenter were walking close at hand. They wept like anything to see such quantities of sand. If only this were cleared away, they said, it would be grand. If 7 maids with 7 mops swept it for half a year, do you suppose, the Walrus said, they could get it clear? I doubt it, said the Carpenter, shed a bitter tear. Oh, oysters, come and walk with us, the Walrus did beseech. A pleasant talk along the briny beach. We cannot do with more than 4 to give a hand to each. The eldest oyster looked at him. Never a word he said. The eldest oyster winked his eye and shook his heavy head, meaning to say he did not choose to leave the oyster bed. But 4 young oysters hurried up, all eager for the treat. Their coats were brushed, their faces washed, their shoes were clean and neat. And this was very odd, you know, because they hadn't any feet. 4 other oysters followed them, and yet another 4, and thick and fast they came at last, and more and more and more, all hopping through the frothy waves and scrambling to the shore. The Walrus and the Carpenter walked on a mile or so, and then they rested on a rock conveniently low, and all the little oysters stood and waited in a row. The time has come, the Walrus said, to talk of many things, of ships and sails and sealing wax and cabbages and kings, and why the sea is boiling hot and whether pigs have wings. But wait a bit, the oysters cried, before we have our chat, for some of us are out of breath and all of us are fat. No hurry, said the Carpenter. They thanked him much for that. A loaf of bread, the Walrus said, is what we chiefly need, pepper and vinegar beside. Are very good indeed. Now if you're ready, oysters dear, we will begin to feed. But not on us, the oysters cried, turning a little blue. After such kindness, that would be a dismal thing to do. The night is fine, the Walrus said. Do you admire the view? It was so kind of you to come, and you are very nice. The Carpenter said nothing, but cut us another slice. I wish you were not quite so deaf. I've had to ask you twice. It is a shame, the Walrus said, to play them such a trick, after we've brought them here so far and made them trot so quick. The Carpenter said nothing, but the butter spread too thick. I weep for you, the Walrus said, I deeply sympathize. With sobs and tears he sorted out those of the largest side, holding his pocket handkerchief before his streaming eyes. Oh, oysters, said the Carpenter, you've had a pleasant run. Shall we be trotting home again? But answer came there none, and this was scarcely odd, because they'd eaten every one.
I am from pianos, from swimming pools and forts made out of blankets. I am from a tidy, cozy nest full of music and creativity, and fruit trees of all kinds in a garden full of vegetables, flowers, a wonderland of colors. I am from a cherry tree with delicious fruit for cobbler, with sturdy, steady arms to hold me as I climb high or tuck away to hide. I am from bicycles, music lessons, from Flossie Irene and Gentleman Jim, and from laughter and performing, from baking and singing. I am from daily mealtime prayers and breakfast time devotions, from New Mexico enchiladas and Grandma's sugar cookies with homemade icing, from the earliest civil rights movements following the bombings in Birmingham, and from working on the railroad and effortlessly playing the trumpet. I am from the moments relaxing at dusk in the backyard with family, smelling freshly cut grass, eating barbecue hamburgers with green goddess salad dressing at the picnic table, and looking up at the stars from a soft blanket with Mom and Dad.
Hi everyone, it's Janice McQueen Ward, and I'm excited to be part of this talent show. You normally see me sing or play the flute or act in one of the church productions, but I was challenged to do something a little bit more original. Last year I started a podcast, and from that I started writing, and I really enjoyed it. So I am writing my very first book called Queendom, How to Reign in Pageantry. It's coming out November the 28th in memory of my mom, Margaret McQueen. I'm writing this book because I'm a pageant coach and a former beauty queen, and write about what you know. So I hope that you will enjoy this and get something from it, even though it is about pageantry. So I'm going to read a very small portion of one of my chapters. I hope that you enjoy this. When we decide to enter a pageant, we are often asked to describe ourselves. This always seemed to be an odd ask, as we should use words of praise, right? Well, yes and no. Yes, you want to have words that are positive, but so many pageant contestants use words that are, well, generic. Sure, we all want to be kind, compassionate, persistent, loyal, and fun, but don't shortchange yourself. You are so much more than a generic description of a sweet pageant girl. No to words that are basic and boring and nondescript. No to words that are too similar, thus not painting a picture of who you really are. Be an original. You want to stand out, not blend in. You want to use words that are unique and memorable and authentic to who you are, not just positive words. Words about you should tell a story. Let me walk you through it. First, the best advice I can give you is think how you would describe your very best friend. What words and thoughts come to mind? Jot those words down. Number 2, also think about what makes you different and unique. What sets you apart from your other friends, family, neighbors, or colleagues? Jot down a few more words that are unique. Lastly, think of those words as telling a story about you. So make the words vary. I suggest that once you have these words, look up different words for them, the synonyms of those words, and choose words that resonate for you, that are unique. For example, I'm compassionate. We like to think that we're all compassionate. So maybe another word that you can use is charitable or warm-hearted. Persistent is a great word, but maybe you want to use tenacious or use grit. I have a lot of grit, that's for sure. Fun. Another word for that is lively or energetic. So choose your words well as they reflect who you are and your voice in the competition. Be bold, be brave, be a pageant girl. And I think this is words that you can use in life, because when you have a job interview or you're asked to be interviewed on a podcast, or you want to describe who you are when you're telling others about yourself, use words that are unique, use words that are bold, use words that tell a story about you, because you are enough. You're everything you're supposed to be. You are beautiful. So think about those words and how they resonate with you. Thanks so much for listening and letting me share a little bit of my book with you.
With the boldness and confidence of God's children, let us pray. All right, let's just let that be it because I can't do the thing. Keep it moving. Okay, let's confess our sins, y'all.
I believe, and in the next breath, help my unbelief. We might have to splice. Can we splice?
Friends, may the peace of Christ be with you. What does that even mean?
Centuries, people have talked about this journey that we are on as a... Describe this journey. Sorry. You know, it's so weird when you have specific words you want to say instead of just thoughts, then you end up messing up more.
So
Okay.
We are still rolling.
Okay.
You're totally recording. I see the red light.
Need to put gaff tape over the red light. From here on out, that's the.
My college roommate used to do this all the time, and it made me laugh so hard. This is Thomas the Train.
There it is. So good. Yes, it is. It's really good.
Glad you have that.
Chief Seattle lived in the Pacific Northwest between 1790 and 1866. He was chief of the Suquamish and Duwamish Indian tribes. He was present with the treaty negotiations between Washington, D.C. and the Bureau of Indian Affairs when they sent representatives to the Northwest to purchase the land which is now called Puget Sound, the Seattle area. It's important to know the history of this. Chief Seattle spoke and gave the following speech. How can you buy the sky? How can you own the rain and the wind? Every part of the earth is sacred to our people. Every pine needle, every sandy shore, and every mist in the woods, every meadow and humming insect, all are holy in the memory of the people. I know the sap that courses the trees. I know the blood that flows through my veins. We are all part of this earth. It is part of us. The perfumed flowers are our sisters, the bear, the eagle, they are our brothers. The rocky crests, the meadows, the ponies all belong to the same family. The voices of our ancestors said to me, the shining water that moves the streams, the rivers, is the blood of our grandfather's grandfather. Each ghostly reflection of the clear waters of the lakes tells us of the memories of the life of all people. The waters nurture the voice of our great-great-grandmothers. The rivers are our brothers. You must give the earth the kindness you would give to any brother. The air is precious. It shares its spirit with all the life it supports. The wind that gave me my first breath also will receive my last sigh. You must keep the land and air apart and sacred as a place where one can go to taste the wind that is sweetened by the meadow's flowers. When the last time man and woman has vanished from this wilderness and their memory is only the shadow of the moving cloud moving across the plain. Will the shores and the forests still be here? This we know, the earth does not belong to us. The earth, we belong to the earth. We must teach our children what you have been taught. The earth is like our mother. Our destiny in the future is a mystery. When the buffalo are gone and the wild horses are tamed, where will the eagles be? Will they have dwindled in number? The hunts are over, the end of many of the living. The ripe hills blotted by talking wires. It will be the beginning of survival. Our blood unites us. We love this earth as a newborn loves his mother's heartbeat. If we sell you our land, care for it as it cares for us. Keep its memory as when you receive it. Preserve the land, the air, and the rivers for your children's children. Love this earth as we have loved it in the past. Chief Seattle was a teacher, and that message that he gave way back then really strikes home with all of us today, with all that is going on with the virus, with all the controversies, with all of the things that are going on with our families, with illnesses and dealing with this time. We have to sit back and appreciate and love what we have and preserve it.
See them tumbling down, pledging their love to the ground. Lonely but free I'll be found, drifting along with a tumbling tumbleweed. I know when night has gone that a new world's born at dawn. I'll keep rolling along. Deep in my heart is a song. Here on the range I belong, drifting along with the tumbling tumbleweed.
Greetings. So the other day when I was cleaning, I happened to find in a crevice that I hadn't touched in a while, like maybe 6 months, something I hadn't seen in just as long. Cash.
Money.
I hadn't used cash in half a year. So I thought, what am I going to do with these? And then I remembered something that I used to do years and years ago when I was a young man, and I would go out to the clubs. And in order to help me limit the number of drinks that I would have, put a ration of drinks on myself, what I would do before I would go out is I would take dollar bills, and I would take the number of dollar bills for exactly the number of drinks that I thought I was going to have. So if I was going to have 3 drinks, I would take $3 bills. This was going to be my tip money. And what I would do is I would fold the dollar bills into origami shirt and ties. And the origami shirt and ties I would put in my wallet, the 3 or however many I was going to have for the night, in my wallet, so that I knew that when I ran out of origami shirt and ties, I had exceeded my drink limit. It's strange, I know, but it's kind of how I operated. And the bartenders loved it. They loved it. It was so much more than getting $1 tip. They were getting $1 and some craft. So I thought I would revisit that talent and make a dollar shirt and tie for you today. And so how we're going to do it, we're going to take a nice crisp, you can see that, nice crisp dollar bill, and we're going to start by folding it in half. And eventually create the tie. This is really tricky. This is the part I had to refresh myself on because it's advanced, as they say. I used to love origami when I was a kid. I ate up all the books I could get on origami. It's really cool. It's a cool craft. It's got a rich tradition. A little funky shaped, but that's okay. Right. Okay, so now we've got something that looks like that. And what we're going to do next is work on the collar. So that you can see the tie is pretty much in shape. So next we're going to work on the collar. We're going to do that by folding that up to the center line. You see there's a collar. That the more you do this, the more you realize what's coming ahead and what the fold needs to accomplish. Right? So the fold not only in here accomplishes this nice little collar, but it also provides us, eventually, as you'll see, the mechanism by which we can fasten the whole thing together. Bring this collar up, and like I said before, we're going to fasten it underneath the thing there. This is not nearly as good as I used to do them. I used to make much better shirt and ties, but there you've got a shirt and tie. I brought you some snacks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Got a special treat in there too, buddy.
Wow. Cool.
And, I hadn't done this in years, and I thought, I think I'm going to do this. I used to make little origamis out of dollar bills. A little shirt and tie there.
A shirt and tie? Oh, yeah.
You take care, brother.
Oh, that is cool. Holy shit, that is cool as well. All right.
Awesome.
At some point, show me how to do that.
I will.
All right, I can just unfold it.
You take care. Nah, yeah, I'll show you. Take care, brother.
With our Matthew 25 initiative continually on our minds these days, I have drawn back to a time when I was a kid and I heard a song in a show called South Pacific. And that was 72 years ago that Richard Rodgers and Oscar Hammerstein were making a statement about racial prejudice. And I'd like to join James Taylor, who recorded it this year for his album, in singing this for you, our congregation and choir. You got to be taught to hate and fear. You got to be taught from year to year. It's got to be drummed in your dear little ear. You got to be carefully taught. You got to be taught to be afraid of people whose eyes are oddly made, and people whose skin is a different shade. You've got to be carefully taught. You've got to be taught before it's too late, before you are 6 or 7 or 8. You hate all the people your relatives hate. You've got to be carefully taught. You've got to be carefully taught. Amen. This is my sequel from South Pacific. It's actually the anthem I've loved all my life. When the sky is a bright canary yellow, I forget every cloud I've ever seen. So they call me a cockeyed optimist, immature and incurably green. I have heard people rant and rave and bellow that we're done and we might as well be dead. But I'm only a cockeyed optimist, and I can't get it into my head. They say the human race is falling on its face and hasn't very far to go. But every whippoorwill is selling me a bill and telling me it just ain't so. I could say life is just a bowl of jello and appear more intelligent and smart, but I'm stuck like a dope with a thing called hope, and I can't get it out of my heart.